Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome back to County Line. Alright, so you guys suggested a few different improvements, so I have increased the size of this particular seater. So now, well, this seater is now, or upgraded to, I should say, this seater, which is an 8 meter or 6 meter seater. And that's what we're using for the time being for this guy. And I upgraded a few other things there. Just turn around here real quick. I updated a few other things on the map as well, and one of the things I updated was, let's make this turn before I mess it up there. Let me just show you in the shop here real quick. This is what we picked up. We got, I upgraded the Combine as well to not the hugest one, not the biggest one, but a 7.6 meter header with the Mass Ferguson Activa 7347. I kept the same trailer for the time being. Shouldn't be too crazy of an upgrade. I got the Teradisc 600, which is 6 meter. So a lot of people said 8 to 10 meters. And unfortunately, in that kind of category, let me give you an example here. If I go to a 10 meters, so this is 8 meters, the Carrier, or if we go to this, which is 10 meters, that requires a 400 horsepower tractor, and this requires a 330 horsepower tractor. And then you're kind of just going upwards of that. So this is 250 horsepower. So that's the reason why I didn't get anything in the 10 meter category, just because at that range, what actually happens is you kind of get into the larger tractors. That's the reason why I didn't go up to that range of tractor. Alright, the other thing I picked up before I get too sidetracked here, upgraded that, picked up a plow. This is only a 3 meter plow, 180 horsepower. That's going to be interesting. Got the 6 meter corn planter, and then I picked up a mower, one of the smaller mowers, a disc bind. The Kuhn, this is the Kuhn one, Kuhn rake. There we go. And I got just regular baler there as well. Apparently, you can bale some other things too here. Well, that must just be related to the other things. And I got a tedder, and then everything else I believe is the same. Didn't upgrade any tractors or anything like that. I know a couple people suggested that I get rid of all the John Deeres and only use North American US equipment. So for the most part, I think Kuhn, I believe, is North America these days. So I don't know if it's considered. I don't think it's considered North American equipment per se. However, it is in North America. So. Anyhow, so there's our seater. I should show you what it looks like when you seat a field with course play that's not nicely shaped. Let's go for, where am I? Field 11, right here. I believe that one was seated. No, apparently, yeah, there we go. Fruit types 2, there we go. No, that's actually doesn't look too bad in that, but it's actually, if you get closer, it looks really bad. Oh, there's 33, for example, looks kind of rough, right there. Anyways, so what we're gonna do today is gonna do a little bit of mowing because we do have a mower now. And then we can either wrap some bales, or we can just collect them or sell them straight up. One way or another, because we're not ready to sell any grain yet. I'm not even sure we have much grain to sell, to be honest with you. There we go. Put this in the back here. There we go. Excellent. What I'll do is leave this over by the other. I'll leave this over by the other implements over here for the time being, so there we go. Perfect. And what I'll do is I'll hop over back into the other New Holland. Actually, I didn't realize we had 2 New Hollands, but we do. I think it's the reason why I picked up the New Holland baler and the New Holland disc bind here, so. Now, the funny thing is this tractor is a little on the underpowered side, now that I'm thinking about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it out for the other New Holland. This one has 120 horsepower. Still one of my favorites in terms of the way it sounds. And this one has 180, so this will be a bit easier on the hills. It looks vaguely familiar there. Some people said the interior of this particular New Holland was just taken from the interior of the 8340, which is probably true. Maybe it was the same though, I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue a little bit mowing. As you can see, I've done a little bit of mowing already. Let's go ahead and lower that. Turn that on. As you can see, I've done a little bit of mowing already. I'm just going to continue on this route. I'm just going around in circles for the time being. could go up and down the field, but this is kind of a weirdly shaped field, so for whatever reason, going around circles seems to make sense to me right now, so that's the reason why we're kind of doing that. Yeah, it looks like you might be able to freelance this field. Looks that way at least. Anyways. So like I said, we'll do a little bit of mowing. You can always sell the grass right up to. I don't know where the grass sell point on this map is, though. I don't know how close it is. Where is it? I just realized I don't have any way to pick up the bales either. Ah, that's awesome. So I guess what will happen is we'll just cut this grass for the time being, and what we'll do from there is it's a lot more difficult to detect that. And what we'll do from there is we will rake it, bale it, and then maybe by that time we'll have some money in order to make it a little bit to actually pick up these bales. That's funny. It's funny when you realize those things after the fact. You're like, oh right, hey, ooh, yeah, maybe I should have done something about that. Yeah. I don't know if there's any areas where you can actually sell to close. Maybe. Of course, you can always rent a bale trailer. That's possible too. Renting is always an option, of course. An option they included in this game now, which is kind of funny when you think about it. When you think back to 15, that wasn't even an option. Well, it's not true. I guess there were mods that allow you to rent stuff. Now, some people thought they were kind of like felt like cheating. Other people thought it was fine. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I've always kind of tried not to rent for too long. Even this tractor gets a little slow on this hill. Okay. I used to try to rent like not crazy equipment. It's like right now, for example, you can just go from like what I have right now to like the largest equipment almost if you have enough money for the rental. But you know, of course, you want to progress a little bit. Now I'm gonna try to get some of the older style tractors in there first. Like we have a few older ones right now, so I'm gonna try to get some other older ones in here, and hopefully from there we'll upgrade to some other older ones. But there aren't a crazy amount of options in terms of older tractors in FS17. But there are a few. There are a few out there, so which is good for us. So it'll definitely allow us to progress through the ages a little bit. I do have one John Deere. I think it's a John Deere 9400. I think it is. It's an older tractor. It's about 300 horsepower. I have no idea how much it is in the shop. This one right here. I think a couple people have been looking for this. I have no idea where I got this mod from. This 9400 here. It's only 77,000. 316 horsepower. Can you upgrade it at all? No, I didn't think so. This is an old. You can tell the background right here. This is from like FS13. So I know just from the background, the picture here, that it doesn't look very nice. Just a random guess. And of course the Kirovitz. 70,000. What else could we get for 70,000? Not a whole lot. That maybe? That's not even close. Not many options apparently. Not many options. Alright. But there are a few options out there. So I think we'll work towards that in the 9400 for the time being. So that'll be like the first older style tractor. Bigger tractor. And then from there we will see what happens, because I don't know how many, I don't think I have too many other ones. Other night at least. That one, even that one's not super nice to be honest with you. But I have it. I want to say Donald hooked me up with that one. Donald's a master when it comes to finding random mods. He does a great job of finding stuff. He's a John Deere guy, so that's why I end up having lots of random John Deere mods. But I try, keyword try and keep it, you know, kind of varied, not just have only John Deere equipment all the time. So, gotta try and mix it up just a little bit. A little bit of John Deere, a little bit of New Holland. So, in the game, of course, they actually included some of the older New Holland stuff. Like the 8340, of course, is an older New Holland. Ford New Holland, you might see in some places. So. If you want, of course, you can actually get course mode to do this too. That is an option. It's not terribly difficult. You just have to drive around the field, basically. Which is different because normally you would just right-click and say, calculate the current field edge, but there's nothing there. It doesn't recognize this as a field. It's just like a little pasture area that the guy that the mod offer included, so that's why it doesn't recognize that as a field. So when you run into that situation, you have to drive around the edge of the field. And after you do that, you just set up your courses as per normal, basically. But it's that initial having to drive around the field which really throws some people off, because it's not something you do a lot. Not something a lot of people do often. No, that's not too bad. It slows down a little bit still there, but not too bad still. Now I could hire a worker. I believe you can hire a worker with this one. This one. Interesting. I'm curious. I wonder how that would work. I'm genuinely curious. I don't know if he actually turns around, or if he how exactly he does that. Kind of interesting to see. So of course we'll probably upgrade this mower at some point in the near future as well. Let's just try hard worker here. So let's get on the straightaway here. Let's see how this works out for the hard worker. There we go. Oh, AI extension? Let's do that. Well, if that's the case, let's set it up so it's on the... What is on the left side? Why is it being so strange? Oh, I know why. So when it's... Okay, whatever. Let's see how this works out. I've never tried the EA extension with mowing, so this is going to be kind of funny to watch. So because the text on the left side, it's going to go and do some weird things. If I put it on the right, it would do the same thing. Would it? Try. I don't know where he's going. I'm in a circle somewhere. I'll just leave him to do that for the time being. We're going to go ahead and grab the case here. The old case. And let's grab the rake while we're at it. Because we've done quite a few headlands there already, so we'll let the AI worker see if he can figure it out. I know Courseplay knows what to do, but I'm not sure about the AI worker. Like I said before, I'm not too... I don't mind the AI extension, but I find it does some funny things sometimes, and it doesn't always work the way I would like it to work. Besides, this red tractor looks good with this cool rig. I think it's lost. Helper B is blocked by an object? What is it blocked by? I take it doesn't like this mower. Yeah, that's what it is. Alright, fine. Be that way. That's too funny. Doesn't know where to go. It's like, where am I going? Alright, let's see what it does. Hold on to it. Knows what to do with it. Jeez. Doesn't make sense sometimes. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this on. Lower it. Get going here. Do a little bit of raking around this side here. Oh, that New Holland's doing something. Not exactly sure what it's doing, but it's doing something over there. Actually, well, I think it's on the headland pass, so once it realizes it's done the headland, it's gonna go I think it's east-west in the field. Now, east-west in this field, I'm on field, I don't know, maybe up just north of field 10 there. So east-west in this field is going to look really funny. So I might be able to get 3 windrows in here, actually. Maybe. Wouldn't be pretty, though. So for now, we're just going to drive in between the 2 windrows and see what happens here. Should get one. I could actually, where is it? Do I have one more tractor? Yes, I totally do. Let's just do this. So what we can do here is do this in one clean fell swoop, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Let's go down here. I'm just going to leave this for the time being. Back to this little section here. And with the follow me mod, you can basically have it follow directly behind this rake. It will automatically fail. It's gonna be kind of interesting. Actually, should I do it like this? The problem you're gonna run into is the bales that they're not gonna. Yes, I bet you they are. I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna move around a little bit too much, especially because we have the other worker right there. So you can just set it up to follow me, and it'll just follow right behind it. But the problem I'm gonna run into is the fact that if I do it like this, I mean, there's not gonna be any bales for that other New Holland to run into, because inevitably it will happen. It'll drop a bale somewhere that's in a very inconvenient spot. And what will happen is, because of that, you will have mayhem, basically. Mayhem in the field. So when you have when you have your hard worker trying to go over a bale, it never works well. Never. Looks like it's green or blue tar there. So here's what I was talking about before, the other field over here. If we come over here and take a look, this is field 11. This was done with the 6 meter seater, and this is what happens with course. But I'm not sure what's happening here, because he went over this area, and apparently it was not able to be seated. So I don't know if that's a bug or something, but it definitely went over it a couple times and didn't do what it was supposed to do. So let me tell you what I planted. I think 11 actually might need a dose of fertilizer. It might. Let's keep that in mind. Let's hop back in here real quick. Alright, let's continue on our way here. Do a little bit of raking while we're at it. Do a little bit of everything today, apparently. Maybe we'll do some baling too, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure though. If you have a suggestion for what we should try and do next episode, leave a comment below. Now I believe there are missions on this map, so we can always try some missions if you'd like. If you want something else specific, by all means leave a suggestion in the comments below. I'll do my best to accommodate. Like I said before, some people left comments like don't use any John Deeres like that. I try and do a little bit, try and mix and match tractors often. Like using some case or something. Just because I have no particular affinity. The only reason I like John Deere's or Class or Krone is because it's green. That's as far as my allegiance really goes in that context. And like I've always said before, it always comes down to whatever's in your area, whatever that gives you great customer support. Because when you have a tractor and you're spending like thousands of dollars on one, you definitely want to have good support. I think he is going. I think he's going up and down the field now. Let's see. Or is he doing circles? He might be doing circles. Just looks like it. Let's see. Where is the course going here? Yeah, it's just going up and down here. There you go. So remember, when you're using this particular thing, don't forget to put an offset. It makes a big difference, and it gives you set so he turns off the field, I believe. Yes. That is important with that particular implement, because it doesn't like backing up well. If you try to get the course blade to back up that thing, it doesn't work very well, because it doesn't go straight behind it. It does like a little weird swing out feature. If it's right behind it and it's like centered in the middle, it's fine. But if it's offset like that, it just doesn't like it at all. So, alright. Get this done here. Should be at least one headland done. Excellent. And as I said, this guy's going to do some weird turns just because that particular implement. Because normally, the way you have it set up is it would do like a. So normally what you'd have it do is you'd have it set so it just backs up, but because of that particular implement, it doesn't like the backing up at all. Can I get all three of these to one? Looks like almost. That's terrible. think I'm gonna miss a little bit by doing this, but we'll try it. But yeah, that's what it's kind of interesting how you kind of have to like adjust some things. And actually, I was reading in the GitHub. By the way, I upgraded to the latest version of Courseplay, which I'm using version 1.45. I don't know if that's the same one I had before, honestly, but that's the one I'm using at this particular time. So, anyways, one of the things they mentioned in one of the recent some of the notes related to Big Bud is that Big Bud is always deactivated, or no, when you have the Seed Hawk, I should say, it's always deactivated from backing up, just because it's an articulated trailer, so it really doesn't like that very much. So I thought it was kind of interesting that they actually took that into account, because it is going to create a lot of problems. Did I miss a bit there? Yeah, that's okay. It's going to create a lot of problems when you try to back up a Seed Hawk. Like, even if it's a human being trying to back up a Seed Hawk, it doesn't work very well, let alone the computer trying to do it sometimes. So let's stick in this track right here. I know we probably missed some on the other side there. Oh yeah, definitely. That's fine. Oh, where are you going? There we go. But it's I thought it was kind of interesting. It's a good point though. I'm glad they actually made that change. So if they hadn't done that, it would have been. Yeah, I would have realized what was going on, but maybe not everyone would have realized. Not that I'm saying that I'm better than anybody, but I've used Courseplay a little bit, so sometimes I can pick out what it can actually do, or what it's not doing what that's supposed to. So, because basically it's the same problem that you have. The problem I have with I better stay on this track going forward here. The problem I have with the New Holland in that particular mode is the same problem you'd have with the Big Bud, essentially, just on a much larger scale. There we go. Nice. It's funny, I forgot to turn music on. Actually, I forgot who commented specifically, but someone left a comment saying, Ian, please change the music or don't put any music on at all. I guess they weren't enjoying my jazz music, or what's considered jazz music by the YouTube library. I will have to change it to some rock. I do have rock music somewhere, but I'll have to change it out to that. Unfortunately, I can't play like classic rock, which would be awesome if they did, but I would definitely get some copyright issues if I did that. And they'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, you're using some copyright materials there. We're going to go ahead and have to slap a little strike on you there. Essentially, is what would happen. There's more to it than that. Like, sometimes... anyways, I won't get into that, but that's a whole other different side of stuff. How is that worker doing? It's not doing too bad. Looks like he missed a chunk there. Now, because of the way that particular... mower has to make the turns, or wait, because it's offset, what may happen here is that he may just cut like up the wrong side every single time. It's like he's gonna cut this side now, just because the way it works. Oh, whatever. As long as it gets it all cut, I suppose. If I had crop destruction on, then that would be a lot worse, but alas, I do not this time, so... That's not terrible. Not terrible. Anyways, let's go over one more here. So this will be the last of the headlands at the very least. Like I said, I could have bailed at the same time as doing this, but I often find that by doing that, you're going to have bales all over the field, first of all, and second of all, your other Courseplay worker is going to run into them. Absolutely, no question about that. If there's a will, there's a way when it comes to Courseplay and running into your bales in the field. Just because they're round bales too, and because it's not a square field. If it were a square field, then maybe I would consider it, because then you can just kind of set it up, let it do its thing, and then it's good to go, basically. But in this scenario, it doesn't work as nicely, that's for sure. So. I do like this, man. Like, one thing I do miss about these older tractors as you progress is the sound of some of the older tractors are really nice. Like 8340 sounds nice. This case sounds really nice too. Just with the engine sound, it's just one of the things that I kind of miss about the older style tractors as you get to some of the newer ones. It's not overpowering either, like that one John Deere is. Maybe that's why the one guy, I think it was James who said it, he's like, don't use any John Deeres. Maybe it's because of that one, who knows. Or maybe it's because he just doesn't like John Deere in general, which is fine too. Everyone has their own particular preference, right? I just picked up that John Deere that we have on the map because somebody from the community actually made that. So, that was kind of cool, so I thought I'd include it in the series. It's a neat little tractor there. Apparently I was going a little off right here. You see that? I don't know what I was doing there, but I missed a good chunk of it. Now, it's interesting because these lines right here, so I don't know if this is actually a field or not, because that's something that happens with the growth manager. And when you have it set up with a growth manager like that, what will happen is it will create those lines in fields. But I'm surprised that it's done it in this field because it's not really a field. It's more like a textured grass. I don't believe you can fertilize this at all. So I don't know how many bales we're going to get from this. Probably not crazy enough. But because you don't have to fertilize it, you can just, you know, continually mow it like every day, basically. Well, with the growth manager, the way I have it set up, you can mow it every day. There you go. Just turn here. That little bit there. Nice. Excellent. I think I should probably do a live stream on this map one of these days, just so I can get all the work done. Excellent. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for today. I could easily sit there and mow for another hour, or rake for another hour quite easily. So, but I shan't. I will do that off camera. So, if you, like I said, if you have any suggestions for what we try and do next time, please leave them in the comments below. My name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more Canada Land. Catch you guys later.